Good morning, everyone. I received an amazing download about creation today that was tied in with what Sam the Illusionist had said in his video. So stay tuned. It was really amazing today. I'm going to show you the picture, but let's first go ahead and take a deep breath. I am Ha. I am Aham. I am At. Om. And so it is. Okay, so here is the read. I just have the union read for you because I got such an amazing download. I had to bring it to you. Okay, so here is the union read, the 4D, the 5D, the 6D, the Divine Feminine on the left, Divine Masculine on the right, the bridge between them between, the incoming Divine Feminine, the outgoing Divine Masculine, the underlying card and the or the energies, and then the closing energies over here, which I've put in the center of the read straight ahead so you can see them. Okay, so the underlying energy is here and the closing energy here. Okay. All right, guys, it was really beautiful, so stay tuned. Okay, so the last video that Sam the Illusionist did was talking about some black holes, and some information came through my download in conjunction with that. So you might want to listen to Sam the Illusionist as well. Yeah, and also the energy. Yesterday, they had done some work on the streets last year, and they finally got around to fixing the sidewalks that they had broken into in front of my house. So those sidewalks were actually completed today. So there's a lot of drilling yesterday, so that disruption yesterday, and then today everything was covered up and being sealed and closed in. So there's really positive energy there. And also the cards here were reflecting each other so much. Literally the first card, let's see, hold on. The first card over here, which is the 5 of Pentacles, but for me it's like the Hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave. It literally was reflecting what I see looking outside my window here. It was the same thing, only kind of the reflection of it. And then I noticed that this Hermit card over here was literally reflecting the dark of this light card over here. So just flipping, which also resonated with Sam the Illusionist card. It was very interesting the way it came up today. So here it is. And at 10:19, which is the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the 19 of the Sun, the guys had just finished my new sidewalk and had covered it up. And I did the union at 10:14 just prior to that, this union read, 10:14, 14 being the Temperance card, the higher love, the union of the 4D, 5D, and 6D of the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine. And today is June 4th, 2021, which is the 4 of the Emperor. And then we have the 15 of the shadow side, but it's also a 6, which is love, family, and community. So here we go, the Devil or the Shadow and the Emperor today. So the underlying energy here was the Knight of Swords, the central energy, the 9 of Pentacles, the Sovereign, and the final energy, the Wheel, the Great Wheel of Fortune in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. That was, I guess, I tapped that by accident, but that was a confirmation, I suppose. Okay. So the Knight of Swords, and listen closely, there's a lot of important messages here. The Knight of Swords passing a message in a bubble to the Sovereign, pure and wise counsel, with wise counsel, the Owl in the Garden of Prayer, admiring crystals and destiny projected, the Rainbow Bridge around the world, an atom at home, at 0 point, a tom to ground control, it's ground control to Major Tom, Tom, Chiquanoa, which that word just came in a download to me the other night, Chiquanoa, Om Namah Shivaya also, the messenger of truth under a tree on a rock, and mini-me in a bubble, passing the word of abundance of nature and the Garden of Eden in 5D, heaven on earth, destined. The incoming Divine Feminine here was the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and reflection. And I want you to notice on the other side was the King of Swords and the Six of Flames and the Six of Orbs. So there were two fives and reflection over here, and then the Master of Orbs and two sixes on the masculine side. So the Divine Feminine side with the Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands, and reflection, the Hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave, the ice of the tree and nature, her front lawn, the dark of the street between them, projected by nature from lower vibrations without the lantern, and then adding fire, movement, expansion, the dance of the sun in a light bulb at nighttime to see more clearly, a time and place for the old and the new, the grandparent and the child, the cloaked and the naked and authentic inner child. Seeing inversely, like a negative from a camera, reflection of light and dark. Remember, when there is light 24 hours a day, it's hard to sleep and there's no cooling off time, less variety or contrast. Present to the wave of heat and cold, light and dark, rooming perhaps with one who loves to be hot and the other loves to be cold, expanding my meeting in the middle instead of compromise, each using their imagination to create a win-win. The Three of Flames in the Divine Feminine triangle, present to the sun, and I want to reflect here that the Three of Wands present to the sun is reflecting the masculine with three wands present to the light bulb, more in alignment, where this is more free-flowing nature over here. The 4D here is the Strength card, the Eight of Wands, and the King of Cups. The Divine Feminine breaking through the ring of fire of two hermits, two sides of the same coin, in hot pursuit of happiness. The white, cool Bengal tiger jumping through the circus hoop, no longer the zebra or orange tiger or Tony the tiger, but her own brand of mighty roar. The lunar eclipse with the earth between the sun and the moon, the 0 point balance. Remember that the solar eclipse is when the moon is between the earth and her sun, her nourishment, her partner, a break from each other, breaking through the veil of illusion, the conflict between two different perspectives, transmuting fire. The Divine Masculine King of Cups is reflecting eyes, working with water, the King of Swords and the dolphin, his sword and the dolphin's fin, marking the friendliness of the dolphin or not so friendliness of the sword. The three flames aligned to the light bulb on this side, lit by the human, creating energy source, going within us, aligning emotions, heart and soul at 10:57. So the moon between earth and her nourishment, which is the solar eclipse, came up at 10:50, which is the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune and the 50 of emotional fulfillment, and then the 10:57 of the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Swords, which is the separation. So at 10:58, which is the 10 of the Wheel and the 58 of the Four of Swords, which also, besides being rest and meditation and connection, it's also the connection in the 5D between the masculine and feminine energetically. The Lion's Gate and the Heaven's Gate, bridging by energetic exchange, using all of the colors of the wheel, the circle of trust, the 0 point, the center of the cyclone spinning faster and faster. The faster the vibration, the more traumatizing touching the cyclone. More protection, but also more contrast, until the cyclone becomes the 0 point when all is one, right? It goes faster and faster and faster until the cyclone is so skinny and tight that it becomes the vortex. The beginning of the world is like the opening of the black hole and then the spontaneous remission. Closed and end. But also, when Sam was talking about these black holes that could come up but would spontaneously close, there's also the possibility of the opening of a black hole and then spontaneous remission, but also the possibility that a black hole opens and then gets bigger and bigger, ending and beginning over and over again in perpetual expansion until it is required to reflect upon itself. The matter meeting the antimatter, where the sine wave flips, the change from Pisces to Aquarius in the 2 to 3 world split, the increase of the divine feminine, the antimatter, unstable, yet more powerful than matter, and yet what does it matter? What is one without the other? Nothing, or 0 point. The nothingness above, the everythingness below, and on the horizon line of the sine wave is the 0 point where all is possible in every moment. Between fire and water, fire in expansion and water in reflection, not contraction. So they were showing me it's not the expansion and contraction, but the expansion and reflection. That just like I always tell you, the victim is between the savior and the perpetrator. It's the same here with the reflection is the middle of the expansion and contraction, so it's actually the 0 point there. It's up to the reflector to do the shift, just like it's up to the victim to do the shift to pull the savior and the perpetrator towards them, more to the middle. The contraction is like the victim needing to shift between the savior and the perpetrator. And I want to show you the sine wave here, because they were showing me, all right, so here is the sine wave here, right? The sine wave, as we go from the masculine energies here of the age of a Pisces to the divine feminine energy of the age of Aquarius. You see how we're right here at the shift where we're going just above the line. And this is also, you see the seesaw. So this is the seesaw with the masculine triangle below and the divine feminine triangle above, which also makes the toroidal field. Okay, so it's like the sands of time there. So this is the energy of creation, the black hole from Sam's video, the seesaw and the toroidal field. But you notice that this is just one timeline. The timeline of Pisces going into Aquarius and us in this 0 point field. But also there are multiple timelines. So you see how that turns into this, which is literally the shutter or the lens. So I just wanted to show you that was pretty profound. So then we get into the 5D, which is the 9 of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Wands. So we also had 3 9s in this read. We have the Wounded Warrior here, the Sovereign, and then the Cups Sovereign over there, the 9 of Cups. So this was very significant of the 2 independents. I always talk about the 9 of Pentacles as the feminine coming into her independence of manifestation, the masculine coming into his independence of emotion. And here is the Wounded Warrior over here, and letting that go. That's the surrender. The divine feminine curious about her new abilities, or perhaps a child who is. The divine masculine Wounded Warrior reflecting on surrender after fighting to keep the menorah lit. And then it was interesting online, the Manora came up, which there's no definition for Manora, but it's the name of a Thai massage place. So literally this came up before I went to the 9 of Cups, because the 9 of Cups always brings up Thai energy. Because literally this looks like a Thai man here. I wanted to show you this card because it's very significant today with the 6 rays of light shining down upon him. So remember that energy there. Okay. So when I looked up Manora, M-A-N, instead of the menorah, which is spelled M-E-N, there is no definition for menorah, but what did come up was the menorah Thai massage, and also a definition of the M-A-N-O-R-A-T-R-A, Samanaratra, which means to write, to loom, to print, or inscription. The Page of Pentacles and the Wounded Warrior merge on the bridge as the Sovereign 9 of Pentacles, the Divine Feminine, and the 6D Divine Masculine of the Sovereign 9 of Cups, which is a Thai man in that card, which just came up from the definition where I looked up the manora of the Thai massage. So they were totally unrelated, but that Thai energy was coming in, the Thai between them. The 5D, and I guess I had told you guys too when I was 10 years old, we used to have AFS students stay at our house when I was growing up. And Samanpan was an 18-year-old who I obviously had a crush on when I was 10 years old, and he was from Thailand. So there's a very significant energy there for me. The 5D Garden of Eden, the heaven on earth, and the 6D with the 6 rays below ground, or a mausoleum, an ancient structure or basement. The past couple days has been coming up a lot of energy of the safety of being very grounded just below the ground. So it's not like hiding, it's just the groundedness of having a structure below ground. So having some kind of healing business underground or in your basement, that kind of energy. The 6D here is the 4 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, and the 7 of Swords. The divine feminine grounding in turbulent waters, focusing up to the stars. The Sirius home with 3 cups, so Sirius as in the constellation Sirius coming up, focusing up to the stars. The Sirius home with 3 cups and 1 on ice, a portable air conditioning unit. ET phone home. The 4th, the touchstone, the finger to the heart all aglow. The 4 of Cups grounding and integrating and mastering of allowing and receiving love. On the jetties with 3 and then 1, another disconnected above water, but connected beneath. Dive deep to find your 4th, another aspect of yourself. 2 land masses connected under the ocean, like you taking a bath, but you can only see your arms and knees above the foam. The divine masculine manifesting, passing downloads from 7D and above to 5D and below, a lot stored for him to share, with 2 shadow men down below pointing a finger or asking for a hand up. Bridging by strong stone structure with light from a circular window at the top at 11:35, which is Justice and the Wounded Warrior, service for 9 and 6 rays of Mary Magdalene shining on the Thai. The divine feminine here at 9:36 and 36 being the Atlas energy, the 10 of Wands, the weight of the world upon your shoulders. The divine feminine in the 4D breakthrough, the white tiger, the fire, and the astral realms to discover new abilities or manifestations of grounding and integrating and mastering of love. The divine masculine with the 4D unconditional love and reflection of aqua water. The wounded warrior surrendering to the 6D downloads passed down from God knows where. The bridge here being the 4D energetic exchange in Color My World and 0 point and the tight circle of the 5D 9 of Pentacles sovereign in heaven on earth with crystals and wise owl or council, and the 6D 9 of Cups sovereign satisfied in cave beneath her with her 6 rays shining in, or Thai service for 9, their dining room, and the 9 of Pentacles, their living room or space. House and garden, and sword and stone. The outgoing divine masculine was the King of Swords, the 6 of Wands, and the 6 of Swords. The master sensei with sword and stone, and 9 steps to be like him, or a class, leading the way with 3 at attention while the dolphin fin is in the circle of trust, the divine feminine sine wave, the hello from the ocean. He mistook the dolphin for a shark due to fears from his past. The divine feminine, the hermit master, teaching those like her to join without special alignment, just as they are, in triangular divine feminine formation. One teaching from the sun, the other from the light. Heart and soul, love and light. Energy and its brilliance, alone and social. One more outwardly friendly than the other, but all destined to come together. The atom in 3 planes of existence, inside the circle of Kundalini rising around the world. The snake holding its tail, or story. So they're unable to speak, right? With their tail in their mouth, they can't talk. the dragonfly, the 2 and 2-inch sticks that become one 4-inch stick, flying around with no reason or rhyme, then landing on a plant, collapsing and surrendering into a heart-shaped embrace, expanding and reflecting love and light, 2 by 2, 72, 5 of Pentacles lovers out in the cold, happy as long as they have each other, and respect for each other's light and love. The knight in shining armor of indigo and white silk, as baptism of purity and indigo of expansive mind and heart, down on one knee to the purity of the sovereign and her wise counsel, with service for 9, waiting in a beautiful Thai temple, with 6 rays of light from a circular portal. We have the Divine Feminine with Virgo and then Leo or Sagittarius, the Knight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. The Divine Masculine side had Libra, along with the King of Cups and the King of Swords. And between them, nothing but energetic exchange between the 9 of Pentacles sovereign and the 9 of Cups sovereign. The number overall again was the 68 of the Page of Pentacles, which is that new manifestation. The horizontal pillars came out to 20, 18, and 30, which is Judgment, the Moon, and the 4 of Wands, or the Union. And the vertical pillars came out as 2 Hierophants, or the number 5s, the 4 of the Emperor, 26 of the Page of Wands, 16 of the Tower, and then 2 6s of the Queen of Pentacles, or 2 Lovers. So the messages here were coming up as the announcement or wake-up call to the moon's union, home, and stability. So this is this transformation of the moon, and also we just had the lunar eclipse in brand new manifestations here. The truth of the Ace of Swords with the Emperor and the Page of Wands, inspired by an epiphany by the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles here. And this could be also a father and child with the Emperor and the Page of Wands, and then a mother and child, the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, which also can be them and their inner children coming together, one inspired by the epiphanies of the others. Also the 2 Hierophants and the Emperor, inspired suddenly by the Queen of Pentacles, or 2 sets of lovers, or 2 Geminis or twins. The hero with a message or marriage of the Page of Swords and Page of Wands, suddenly lovers, and family and community as well, with the Page of Pentacles, student or opportunity or invitation to all. So there was your message from the union. I do want to roll the die for you to see what comes up here. I wanted to keep this short though. It's 22:52 and it's 1:06 on the clock, which is about the Magician and the Lovers. This is for the union, for the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. All right, we have Aquarius here, and we have yeah, that's Mars. So we have Mars here. It always confuses me with the Sagittarius symbol. Or is that Sagittarius? Nope, that's the planets. So that's Mars. There's a lot of aggression energy with Aquarius and the age of Aquarius. And then we have the number 8 of the dance, the strength, the inner and outer strength, and the dance between the masculine and feminine, which is also the infinity when they come together. It's the infinite flow back and forth of the human embodiment of Source, with Mars and Aquarius. And I don't know where the planets are right now, so you can check out your astrological videos if you want. And I'm just going to pull a card from the SIRIAN Oracle, the Starseed Oracle, not the SIRIAN Oracle, but the Starseed Oracle. I'm also going to try to get some of the 12 signs done today. So I think I'm on Libra as the next one, because I just finished with Virgo yesterday. So, all right, so from the Starseed Oracle deck, what is the guidance for the twins today? From this union read. Okay, that came right out. And that came up yesterday as the underlying energy too. The seal of subtle luminosities, discernment, discipline, and order. And it's very white and black, as you see right there. The underlying energy today, you might want to look at that picture for a bit. We have the SIRIAN Stargate right after that. That's so funny because this isn't called the SIRIAN deck. It's called the Starseed oracle. So here I just said SIRIAN by accident. Here's the SIRIAN Starseed gate coming up. Transcendence, playfulness, and serenity. So take a look at both of those pictures to see what comes up for you. And then we have the harmonic oscillator, the beautiful rainbow there, the timing, rhythm, and synchronization and frequency of everything coming together, which for me was that read. And here's the fourth card. I don't usually pull fourth, but it was sticking out. There's no more coming up after that one. So Andromedan Stargate as well, invention, innovation, and scientific pursuits. And this read was also showing the difference between the masculine and feminine, right? The masculine's more scientifically minded, whereas the feminine's more guided by the heart and the etheric realms. The bottom of this deck is the Chamber of Incantation, which I just did some chants for you. We had invocation, spellcraft, summoning, and ceremony. Okay, so you might want to do some chanting to help raise your vibration. And yeah. And one last one from my Gilded Reverie. Let's see what comes up from there just for fun. And then we're going to get into the regular sign reads for you guys here. It's 26 minutes, 18 here, which is the Page of Wands and the Moon. So we're still in the eclipse energies. And let's see what comes up from the Lenormand Reverie for all the twins. Take another deep breath. Oh, there we go. Ah, the 20 of the Park. That's beautiful energy. And the Sun. Wow, and the choice of path. Look how beautiful that is. And then the Tomb is like the Four of Swords. It's the 5D connection between the twins. And then the woman with the rose. This is really beautiful energy. The bottom of the deck is the home, the King of Cups, unconditional love of home. Phone home was coming up during the read, and the number 4 of the Emperor. And I do want to read you the Park, at least, because we have a lot of cards there, but it's a really beautiful energy. Number 20. And 20 came up as one of the final numbers as well in the read. And 20 is the Park. When you are going to a party, a concert, or business meeting, I'm sure to show up in your reading. You will find me in a reunion or a retreat, a riot or a picnic. I like crowds and public events, so naturally, I am good with all your networking intents. In the time of Millie that's the has to do with the Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck here. Is it the author? Okay, so anyway, I think it has something to do with the author. I haven't read the whole book, but MLLE. Lenormand, the park or garden, was a social venue, a meeting place. It was a space for getting out and about, sharing and networking, a place where relationships were forged. As in the Reverie, the card is often depicted as a cultural garden with a fountain, perhaps an echo of Nuremberg, from where the game of hope first sprang. The card means public, and while it may seem strange that there are no people in the image, it is because the public space is what is being depicted. When this card is read, it adds meaning public to the cards in its vicinity. The park and the tower would signify a public organization. The park and the book would show public education. It is best to stick with the literal Lenormand. This card can suggest the importance of being social, and maybe it's saying you need to promote yourself more, particularly if combined with the moon. A contemporary meaning of this card with the heart might mean online dating. If we had the park, the heart, and the letter in the 21st century, this could be that email you've been waiting for. So here we have the park and the sun. So going public and being more exposed at choosing a path publicly regarding a 5D connection with the queen, with the feminine, with the rose. This is very romantic energy. So take that as you will. Make sure to take your deep breaths, perhaps some incantations or chants. And let me know what you think about the video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you like the video, share. It helps so much to share it. I would appreciate so much from you guys, and I already do appreciate you guys so much. Every day, take that deep breath and just rise and be love, guys. It's always good. Be good to yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.